You have to learn Spanish.
I know.
How is the name of your aide? What's the name of your aide
My aide.
at home?
The
Oh,
person that
Yeah, the lady.
Irene. Irene.
Irene.
Irene.
Irene.
Irene.
¿Es
See?
Irene o Irene? Es Irene, ¿verdad? But be respectful and call her by her name. Irene.
Irene. See. She introduces herself as Irene, but yeah.
See, because it's easier. It's like me. I introduce myself as Astrid.
What is it?
Astrid.
Well, how's that the same?
It's not.
What is your name in Spanish then? How do you pronounce it?
Astrid. Astrid.
Astrid. Okay.
Astrid.
See.
Astrid
I
es en
got it.
Europa. No, en Europa, in Europe, in France, they call me Astrid. It's Astrid.
Astrid.
Exacto.
Astrid.
But
Here they just call me Gary.
yeah, Gotti. No, to us it's Gotti.
Gotti. I didn't wake you up this morning with my. I don't know. Do you have your phone on all night?
No, I silenced it, but I was awake. I've been
Oh,
awake since 8:30 here. I was in bed, and it was a slow moving.
yeah.
You know, I just noticed that since I don't have to do anything specific, then why get up? I just wait until everything. I don't have to rush.
Yeah.
When I get up early, that's it. When I wake up early, because I went to bed last night fairly early for me at 10. Usually
Oh,
it's way later. So I had a good night's sleep. So yeah,
very
dealing with that idea that I have certain number of hours that I need to sleep, and if my sleep is interrupted, because if I go to my house has very thin walls, and my boys they're up late playing video games, and so sometimes if I'm falling asleep, if I go to bed too early, they wake me up. And Viram is a type of sleeper where he'll sleep a couple of hours and then wake up and then get up. And any door that opens, or I wake up. But last night that only happened a couple of times, and I was able to sleep the rest of the night. So, but just observing that, how when that happens, I wake up and I'm just enraged and just wanting to just let that go. Just, why am I enraged by this? Just go back to sleep. Just, it is what it is, accepting. It's the idea that I need to sleep, the idea that sleep is precious and you've woken me up. And I want to
woken
give
me
that
up.
up. Yeah? Huh?
Woken me up.
Yeah, exactly. Woke me up. I was asleep. So
Yeah.
that's one of the challenges that I'm
See.
having right now.
Yeah, one of the beauties of living alone.
Yeah, I suspect that that's why my dad left. Also, bueno, we are going to lesson 350. La voy a leer, I'm going to read it. La lección 350, los milagros son un reflejo del eterno amor de Dios. Ofrecerlo es recordarlo a Él y mediante su recuerdo salvar al mundo. Lo que perdonamos se vuelve parte de nosotros, tal como nos percibimos a nosotros mismos. Tal como tú creaste a tu Hijo, Él encierra dentro de sí todas las cosas. El que yo te pueda recordar depende de que lo perdone a Él. Lo que Él es no se ve afectado por sus pensamientos, pero lo que contempla es el resultado directo de ello. Así pues, Padre mío, quiero ampararme en ti. Solo tu recuerdo me liberará. Y solo perdonando puedo aprender a dejar que tu recuerdo vuelva a mí y a ofrecérselo al mundo con agradecimiento. Y a medida que hagamos acopio de sus milagros, estaremos en verdad agradecidos, pues conforme los recordemos, su Hijo nos será restituido en la realidad del amor. Los milagros son un reflejo del eterno amor de Dios. Ofrecerlos es recordarlo a Él y mediante su recuerdo salvar al mundo. Sí, okay.
Pregúntale a Gary de dónde sacó el poema ese.
She wants to know where you got the poem, the Ken Wapnick poem.
Eventually from the internet, but I was listening to Guilt and Remorse last night, and it's the last. He finishes up the workshop with 2 poems. One was that one, and the other one was a Helen Schuckman poem. And I was just really taken by that one.
This one is perfect because this one, like, it came in exactly, when I needed it. It's the first line. Forgive me, Lord, if when I felt afraid, I failed to speak the words I know you gave me. That happens to me a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's like I get entangled into the confusion of form, and it's like a forgetting that happens. It's like all of a sudden I'm like, why am I entangled in this? I know the words that have been given so that I can exit from this.
Okay.
This confusion. Yeah. And before you entered, we were talking about that, Adriana and I, because I still, the ongoing situation supposedly with Kaliang. And I see how I get confused with form. And Adriana was saying, it doesn't, all the work, it has to be done in the mind. It has, you still have to, doesn't matter what you do in the form. It's obvious that he's being irresponsible, and you have to, in the form, it's normal for you to show your disappointment in that. No sé, she says it better than I do. I have the concept in my head.
Sí. Yeah.
But yeah, what I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
There's that confusion. I still step into the shit.
Yeah, and then we got to clean it off our shoes.
Yeah, I'm still aware of it. I'm aware of it. I'm aware that this is what's happening. I'm aware. There's the shit. I'm stepping into it.
It's now going to smell. It's going to be squishy under my foot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was a nice poem. So Adriana has another animal in her house that has come to her to die.
Uh-oh. A gecko?
No, a
It's
cat.
a cat.
A cat? A gato?
Beautiful baby cat. Yeah, she's small. And it needs much love. But I cannot surrender to that because last time I did, I came up with a rash. Because sometimes they carry disease. And
Yeah.
they can, contaminate the skin and stuff. But thankfully, I have a sister that has veterinarian training, and yeah, it's just compassion. I just need to be loving and compassionate in my mind, and then
Yes.
do bit by bit whatever is required. So yesterday I put her a serum for fleas because she's apparently anemic and she's not eating anymore and she's full of fleas. So to help her at least with that aspect of the whole condition.
Be a little more comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
I definitely ask the Holy Spirit to guide me in every step and not rush into anything. Because I just join with her. That's the most important thing when anything comes to your awareness is to join with it, to own it.
Mm.
That has to be so automatically that you don't even question, not even what is happening. Yesterday I was listening to chapter 31st, which ended in choose again. And for you to choose again is to own whatever is happening in your mind. At this level of the game, we know that my noisy neighbor and the dying cat are both mine. They are not outside in any way. So that opens a whole process that goes beyond the form of the cat or whatever is happening. And within that disposition, I can be at peace looking to whatever is happening without losing my peace, but extending it to everything. And then it stops being about a dying cat or a noisy neighbor or whatever.
Or failing child.
Then it becomes a healing alternative in the mind, which is then the miracle that in this particular lesson is reminding us that we at every moment we can choose the miracle and remember God. And that's the way that we allow ourselves to live a happy dream. And we can do that all the time. There's no limit to what the miracle can accomplish in our minds because our minds are limitless. So whatever is coming to my awareness now, it's just an opportunity to choose again the miracle and being comfortable in the present moment, which is basically our excuse to jump into judging and to seeing problems and worrying and blah, 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 and all these stories and all these dialogues in the mind is just our fear of staying in the present moment and allowing the Holy Spirit to deal with everything. At this moment, we have experience enough, and I'm talking about Astrid and I, probably you too, I don't know, because you're progressing so much faster than we did. But at this moment, there is no doubt that in our minds that anything that we give to the Holy Spirit will be healed perfectly and for the benefit of everything. There's no disagreement in that, in any moment. But our fear of staying in that certainty from experiencing it constantly with everything, because we don't want to. It's not because the child is, it's because the cat is dying. It's not because the neighbor is making noise. It's because I am afraid of the love and the peace that lies beyond all forms and includes myself. Because unconsciously or consciously, I know that the little I that I love and cherish with all its misery is
Mhm.
gone in that moment.
Is gone in that moment.
Exactly.
It's her miedo. That's the fear of letting that
Yeah,
go.
you stop lying to yourself. You stop lying to yourself and telling yourself, oh, I am this because that, because that. No.
Sí.
It's impossible that the Son of God can suffer for anything. And we are the Son of God.
Sí.
And that carries such a power because it's true.
Yeah.
It's not arrogance of the ego which is talking about this. It's not our little self. No, I can be affected by nothing, by that is not from God, and that is really true.
When you speak of joining, and maybe this is just I jokingly say obsession with forgiveness, but the way you originally started to speak about joining, it sounded much like forgiveness. Yeah?
Yeah, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, sin is the same as, sin, the world, the body, time and space, the error. It's all the same. The miracle, the correction, healing, union. It's all the same.
Mm.
Many words to represent something that is not real. And the correction for the what is not real, which is not even necessary. But in the state that we seem to be, in which we have given reality what is not real, then we need an illusion of correction for what never happened. It's not, actually we're joined, we just recognize that fact. And happily. I am not joining with you to join in your misery.
Oh, come on.
I'm joining with you to join in light.
See.
No, you miserable self are by yourself. I'm joining in your glory and your grace and your beauty, which are not of any form.
And there's no real, like, there's no joining that's happening. It's just recognizing that you're already one for the same.
Yeah.
But it's helpful in, like Adriana said, in the state that we're in, to go through the step of thinking that there's a joining.
Yeah.
The concept of oneness, of non-duality, is very difficult to accept and to understand, at least for me. And it's a slow, what I've gotten is like notions or experiences of it that last for maybe several seconds, or and I have to keep reminding myself, because it is, for us to be convinced of it, we have to have the experience of it. And to have the experience of it, we have to let go of the thought of separation and that little self, that we are that little self, and that's terrifying. I think one of the steps for me is recognizing that I don't want to let go of the little self, because I find my security there. And it's not really secure because it's always fearful. It really makes no sense when you look at it, because the little self is always fearful and always defending and attacking.
Yeah.
And when we come into the present moment with the Holy Spirit, that feeling of security, that feeling of boundless love, and just comfort is amazing. But then we get scared, and then we look for a distraction, My distraction is my children. My distraction is my partner. Being woken up several times at night. I start giving value to everything that's, the physical part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, those moments when I think the way it's commonly referred to in the non-dual practice or teachings is the veil parts. So you have this sort of curtain, that those moments when it just opens a little bit and you see this. And for me, it's been a seeing that I think I attribute to my eyes, but my eyes are they can't see that. So it's a seeing that's happening elsewhere that then gets kind of tied into the visual seeing. And like you say, it's just a momentary like glitch, almost like in the movie The Matrix towards the end when Cypher has undermined the team and they're walking up these stairs and Neo sees a black cat and he sees it again. It's like, wow, deja vu. That moment where something it was a miss.
Yeah.
And
out of pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, and you start to see, at least for me, I start to see glitches in the matrix.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to sit down and explain them or look for some meaning in the world, it's great to just think, well, it's just the evidence of that I'm doing all of this to myself.
Yeah, it's just a noticing. I don't want to get caught up in giving meaning to something that.
No. But that's what the ego wants. Initially the response is like to look for some kind of meaning.
I was having an interaction with Curtis yesterday, and
Who's Curtis?
My teacher.
Oh, right.
And I hadn't heard from him in a while, and he picked up a thread that we had left off maybe a week ago, and the thing that I've said this before here too, and the thing that I struggle with is watching the conversation sort of drift from a place of truth to a place of ego. Where the ego wants to step in and bring it down to its level in some way. And I find myself just stopping and just saying to him, I've got nothing to say at the level with which this conversation was happening. I don't want to perpetuate the presence of ego in this conversation. And
that's always gonna happen. That happens. The good thing is that at least I know that it's happened with Adriana and I, and it's, if I don't catch it, she catches it. She's better at catching it than I am. But just letting it pass, not giving it meaning, not thinking, oh, I've done something wrong. Just laugh at it.
it's a choice. It's not, there's no judgment on it, except that there's a choice to just not perpetuate it.
Mm-hmm.
I see it and I go, well, I don't have anything more to say in the realm of truth. And so I'll just acknowledge that that's what's up right now.
Yeah, the ego wants to weasel its way in on everything.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Just making sure that we can just watching that, observing and letting it go. And that's the forgiveness when that comes in. That's the response is forgiveness.
Let's see.
So I'm good.
Yeah.
How about you, Gary?
Yeah, just sitting in the silence. I welcome those moments. They are sometimes far more valuable to me than the words.
Yeah, this reminds me of last night. Yeah, yesterday on my YouTube feed, there was a video that came up about Benigno. I can never say his name.
Bentinho.
Bentinho. But it was an outside reporter who was going into one of his retreats because she wanted to see what it was all about, and because he had been accused online of forming a cult and whatever. And obviously it's pretty biased. It looks like she hasn't had. I mean, it was perfect because she was open. She was like, I want to understand what's going on here. I want to understand. And she was very honest. And was like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't understand anything that he's saying. But the first session in the video, he comes in, he walks up, and he sits on his chair on the stage, and then the video goes to 8 minutes later. So they spent like 8 minutes or 10 minutes in silence. And I just remembered that part because I thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's what the ego does with the silence.
I mean, the truth doesn't speak. It needs not of words. So whenever we're speaking with the ego. It doesn't matter if we're talking about what we think it is the truth. It's always ego talking.
That's why so often truth is always tough spoken about from a perspective of.
Again?
So often when truth is spoken, it seems to be spoken from a place that is describing not what it's not, but not also what it is. We can't speak about what truth is. So words are formed, although there are a couple of books. The Ashtavakra Gita is one, and there's another one similar to that, where it is actually spoken purely as words of truth.
There are no words of truth, really.
They aren't
It cannot
understood.
be. No, and they cannot speak of truth at all. It's maybe the highest notion that the confused mind might have about truth. But it's not true. It's impossible.
They can point to it.
I mean, the loftiest, you know what the Course says, which is mind-blowing? It says, anything you can understand cannot be of God.
See, this
That
is where
makes a total separation from anything that we can express, understand, put in writing, do as a beautiful painting, a majestic imagination of the mind, of the whatever, cannot touch in any way our reality. That's why people kill over words. They are of the ego. Doesn't matter how lofty they
But
are.
you're speaking of words that I'm not speaking of.
And they mean nothing.
No, that may
They're
be
just
true.
describing an experience that is not real. And then that's the motivation to be silent.
Yeah, I see myself sometimes when I'm in silence and I'm in that awareness, like, and the ego comes in with some plan of words, and I'm in that silence thinking it doesn't matter. Like, there's no words. It's like it's futility. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to understand. There's nothing in that state. I'm just like we were talking, the script is written. You can take me out of the equation and the outcome is going to be the best one for everybody. It doesn't matter if I do say anything specific. That's why we have to always be inspired with everything in every moment, because we have absolutely no idea. We have no understanding of God. We have no understanding of our true reality. We're here trying to explain an experience with words, with language that was created by the ego. But you know, in the hands of the Holy Spirit, it can be helpful and it points to the truth, but we can't know the truth through words. I think that's what Adriana is saying. Because language, God did not create language. He doesn't need language to communicate with us. There's a direct communication that happens that has nothing to do with words. It's an experience. The experience of God is not through words.
And then that communication is not the individual and God. We are out. O sea, our individual self is totally out of that communication. It's quite interesting to try to. There's no way. We just have to surrender.
Surrender fully.
When you surrender, there's something that comes to you and tells you, and that's the experience when you surrender. But not when you're trying to have the experience, of course, but because that's the ego. trying to have an experience. No, no, no.
Ajá.
It's
Sí,
totally
sí, sí.
when you surrender everything and you say, help, I don't know anything. That you can entonces grasp some communication that is not of the body, of past symbols, of words, of sounds, or any experience that you understand, because it's not understandable, but it's fully experienced. And in that term, it's comprehensible, but it's comprehensible by the mind, not the individual. So therefore, it's not comprehensible to the brain. It's uniquely comprehensible. And usually it's experienced by a sense of peace and happiness that does not require any counterpart in the world. Which sometimes is referred to the peace that passes understanding. So what the fuck? Have fun and have a good day.
Sí,
Love
¿qué va?
everybody. Don't miss any miracle opportunity, which is each moment is a miracle opportunity, because for each second of hell that we fabricated for ourselves, the Holy Spirit has an answer, which is a lovely miracle of healing and remembrance of God. And in that remembrance, you are automatically healed, full of love, full of light. And in heaven, you don't have to wait to leave the body to be in heaven. So heaven is here, but we have to choose it. So we better choose it, or we be in hell. Yep.
Pues,
It's very
any-
easy. It's very easy. Once you're willing, it's very easy.
Mm. Mm.
And all of a sudden, there is no more noise. How beautiful. So yeah, I hope you have anything else that you would like to bring to the table.
Estoy bien. I'm fine.
Good.
We all
How
have a
about you?
great day.
Thank you. Gracias. Los amo.
Adios.
Bye.